What's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia, back with another Waiver Wire edition for your Fantasy Pros MLB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because if you do, and you leave a comment below, you just might win this bad boy, a Jose Ramirez autographed jersey. Doesn't get much better than this, folks. And you say, what? How are you just giving this away? And I'll say, well, it's because we're really nice and we love the people who listen to our shows and watch along with us on YouTube. So subscribe today, be part of Fantasy Pros MLB, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications so you know every time a piece of content drops here on the channel, because, well, we're just awesome. So without further ado, let's get after it. Here are the guys that I'm adding, and I'm going to be hitting the minor leagues this week too, in week 3 for the Waiver Wire. Let's kick things off with Spencer Turnbull, starting pitcher of the Philadelphia Phillies, rostered in about 57% of leagues. The first 2 starts for the year have gone very well for Spencer Turnbull. In his first start, he went 5 innings, gave up 0 earned runs, struck out 7 and walked nobody, and in his most recent start this past week on Monday against St. Louis, 6 more scoreless innings with 6 more strikeouts and just 1 walk. So if you're keeping track at home, that means 13 strikeouts to 1 walk to start the year. He's given up just 5 hits in 11 innings. Now, Turnbull, once upon a time for the Tigers, did show you some glimpses of being a starting pitcher on the major league level you could count on, and so far he's gotten off to a really good start with the Phillies. Will it last? We'll never know for sure, but it's certainly a start worth rostering and one where you can pick and choose here, and if you play the matchups wisely, you might be rewarded. The upside is a guy you could just leave in your rotation in fantasy all year round. The downside, well, you just drop him back to the waiver wire, but so far so good for Turnbull, and I think it's time to start adding him to your rosters. Next on our list is first baseman / outfielder Connor Joe of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates have been a feel-good story again this April, just like last year, and I was hesitant to put Connor Joe on this list last week, but after another week of watching him and 10 games and 37 at-bats in, he's been pretty strong, delivering a high batting average of .324, a really great OBP at .444, and a slugging of .551. Now, do I expect this to maintain? Probably not, but if you are hurting right now for bats that are struggling like the Castellanos of the world and you want to sit him until he gets going, maybe a guy like Connor Joe is just what your lineup needs. Again, he's a player historically, we kind of know what he is. Someone's going to hit around 250 with a .330 OBP, but as long as he's hot, you can plug and play him, try to get you through some April injuries in the meantime, and hopefully he can sustain anything close to this pace for the next few weeks, while some of the guys you're waiting for to get hot turn things around. Next on our list is Brett Batty, third baseman for the New York Mets. Now, Brett Batty last year failed miserably. The hype train was pretty strong, but unfortunately, those good minor league numbers never translated in 2023. However, so far in 2024, the contact rates have been much higher for Brett Batty, and that's a good thing. It's resulting right now in a .325 batting average. He has 1 homer on the season through 11 games, and he's got 13 hits on the season with 4 runs scored. Brett Baty's a player that might not hit 30 home runs necessarily for you this year. As long as Batty continues to get everyday at-bats, he could be a good April plug-and-play if you're somebody who has Josh Young or Royce Lewis on the shelf for the entire month of April and even into May. And as long as JD Martinez continues to struggle down at the minor league level with some back issues, Brett Batty is going to get those at-bats at the big league level for the Mets. So Brett Baty's worth adding, and hopefully he can continue this pace and start to realize some of the promise that had all the Met scouts so excited just 2 years ago. For our next addition to the waiver wire, let's take a young outfielder, 25-year-old Oscar Colas of the Chicago White Sox. Now, Colas has been a bit of an enigma the last few seasons. Last year at the major league level, over 75 games, he did not play well for the White Sox. However, in 2024 so far at AAA, he has looked really good. .321 batting average, a .375 OBP, and a .500 slugging over 8 games. Yes, this is a small sample size for the young Chicago Whites outfielder, but the good news is, with all the injuries the White Sox have had and some of the underperforming bats as well, Colas is getting called up to play. So if he continues this red-hot start that he had in AAA over into the major league level, he could find himself as a fixture in this outfield for the remainder of the season. Colas is a player the White Sox would love to finally cash in on, whether it be in a star role for the White Sox as an everyday player or as part of a package to bring back some other potential younger players. He is sort of in prospect no man's land right now, so consider this a fork in the road that's probably not lost on Kolas. He doesn't have much to prove in the minor leagues. He has always hit there, a career 302 hitter with an 869 OPS over 179 minor league games. So this is put up or shut up time for Oscar Kolas. So I would take $1 or $2 investment on him and see if it's time for him finally to put up numbers. Speaking of putting up numbers, how about Heston Kjerstad of the Baltimore Orioles, young prospect rostered already in about 30% of leagues. Now, Kjerstad has been absolutely red hot. His teammate Jackson Holliday got called up recently this week, and I don't think Kjerstad is too far behind. Over 10 games so far at AAA, he has mashed with a 409 batting average, a 471 OBP, a 909 slugging, and a 1380 OPS. He might be the hottest hitter in the minor leagues with 6 homers and 25 RBI to begin the season, not to mention the 13 runs scored. He reminds me a little bit of Will Clark, and this guy has more power than Clark ever could have imagined. It's only a matter of time before he comes up, so what I would recommend now is stashing him and wait if you have the bench space to do it, because Heston Kjerstad is going to make an impact at some point in 2024 for a Baltimore Orioles team where the sky might be the limit, and Kjerstad might be one of the next guys to make an impact in Baltimore and your fantasy leagues. There you have it, everybody. Those are the names that I'm adding this week. Who are you adding? I want to know. Drop your names below, subscribe to FantasyPros MLB, and you just might win yourself that Jose Ramirez autographed jersey. Doesn't get much better than that. So, happy hunting on the waiver wire this weekend. Hope you bring home some gold, and hope everybody stays healthy on your team. I know that's asking a lot, but we can dream, can't we? I've been Joey P for FantasyPros MLB. We'll see you next time, kids.